Alrighty, so we are just 1 week away from the end of February, and 2 weeks with seeds in the ground here. Now I planted right up front here, I planted corn, and a couple rows next to it I planted green beans, and then in the farther row there I planted spinach and carrots. Now something that somebody once told me to do here that I probably shouldn't have listened to it is when you put your corn in the ground, double up your seeds, and that'll increase your germination rate. Well, for whatever reason here, almost everything germinated, and what happened is two sprouts came up where my corn was. So one thing I wanted to show here is what happens whenever these corn come out of the ground here. I just think the root structure on these guys is amazing here, just for the amount of time that they've been in the ground. This is only 2 weeks in the ground here, and look how much they've come up here. It's just it's just the coolest thing ever to me. So yeah, there you can see. So what we're gonna do is kind of thin these guys out and just plant them in the places where it didn't germinate, and then call it a day for this. Alright, we got these guys thinned out here, so now the next thing is to come over here and check on our blackberries and our raspberries. So earlier in the year I went to a vineyard and also a pistachio farm and checked out just how they're doing their irrigation, and I modeled mine very similar to how they are doing theirs. So they've got these metal posts that they pound in the ground about every 4 feet or so, and then they run a 1/2-inch irrigation line, and then off of that irrigation line they take a 1/4-inch poly pipe and just put a little plug in there and then run that down straight to the plant here. Now this is a raspberry bush here, and right next to it I planted a blackberry, and I just did raspberry, blackberry, raspberry, blackberry. And you know, I probably planted these guys a little too close to each other, but we'll see how it comes out in the end here. And so they're all looking pretty healthy. Whenever I got these, this guy was just a little stick, and all this leaf and everything, that's all new growth. This guy was much more sickly looking than he is now here. Again, same thing with this. This was just a stick when I got it, and again, this was really sickly looking. And you know, at the vineyards and the pistachio farms, they use metal wiring here, and I just took some nylon string and pulled it real taut, and so that's what I did for mine here. Now I probably need to go get some mulch and put this in here, so that way I don't have so much grass coming up, but that's how it's coming along. Alright, next thing we're going to be doing here is pulling these metal stakes out. One of the things that I did at my previous house was I made some stakes that hook with string out of 2x2s, and I really like that system much better than this cabling system that I've got here with my blackberries and raspberries. So I'm going to pull these out and then run to the store and get some 2x2s and make the support system that I know works well. So let's get these guys out. Alright, so the last thing that we need to do before we go to the store is address this little bit right here. Now, when I was building all of this out, I tarped this half for about 3 months or so, and I tarped this for about a week. And, you know, a lot of that is my fault. I knew this was going to be a problem here. I just didn't realize to what extent it was going to be a problem. So we'll just pull the water lines out of the way, light it up, and then put the water lines back in place. And that should take care of all of the weeds that are in there, and get us ready to go for the next phase. right, so we've got our corn thinned out, we've got our green beans looking good here, and everything where we had some extra space, we've got that planted. We've got everywhere where we had weeds in these 2 rows, that's flame weeded. And so the last thing is we pulled out the metal posts, and now we've got space for our new wooden ones. So let's go to the store and go to the garage and make them up. That's just a little pro tip for life lessons learned here. When you're buying power tools, if you can, at all costs, even if it costs a little more, buy plug-in powered tools here. When I bought my miter saw, I thought I was being cool by getting a battery powered one, and man, it's just, wish I would have bought the plug-in one. So there's your tip for today. All right, well, looks like we're starting to lose some daylight here. I managed to get 10 of these done, which is enough to give us 1 row fully trellised. So let's go ahead and take these guys into the backyard and get them strung up so that the green beans have something to attach to when they're sprouting up this week. All right, well, I think this is the first time in a very long time where I didn't accomplish everything that I set out to do over the course of this weekend. But it was a pretty productive weekend. We took care of the corn and the green beans. We got the old metal posts out and we made some new wooden ones here. The reason why I went with 8-foot ones is because every time I've put in 4-foot posts, they've gone up and then they've gone out. And so with this batch here, I'm wanting them to continue up. But you can't find 8-foot metal posts. You can only find 8-foot boards. So that's what I did. I got 8-foot 2x2 boards. I flame weeded, you can't really see it here, but I flame weeded the spot where I had some carrots and just gave up on them. Went and got some onions instead, and we'll see how they do. And I think that is it. If you like this video, please make sure to give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Thank you again for watching.